Okay, what's good? What's good? What's good, beautiful people? It's your main man, Big G, coming at you all the way live. I'm in your space, I'm in your face, and I'm definitely blessed to be here on this wonderful day. It is May 21st, 2026, here in the great state of Mississippi. Yes, it is. Had a little rain, had a little sun, had a little bit of mix of everything today. But I could definitely assure you, come rain, snow, sleet, or shine, we're going to be here on the dime and on time. Yes. Sometimes I might run a little late, but not often. It might be some very, um, um, some circumstances outside of the parameters of my control, which won't allow me to be here. But yes, you can best believe every day. And in every way, I'm going to be here rocking out with you. So today we have a very special program. Today we have a conversation that's going to take place um, with our crew, of course, um, Terry Cherry and Jarrell Braswell, comedian Jarrell Braswell. Jarrell got jacked up today. I just want to let y'all know. I mean, the quintessential elements of our people trying to get out of work. He said he was doing some lawn care work, some service work out on his property, and he got hit by a branch or a tree or a stick popped up when he was weed eating or cutting the grass and popped across side the head, and he got a gash, he got slashed to the white beat. So I don't know. He might be here, he might not. I don't know. But I think it was fake news. It looked like it was some made up blood. I don't know. It didn't look right. He looked like he was in pain. He was pretending to be in pain. But the one thing I didn't see, ladies and gentlemen, when I looked at the picture very closely, I ain't see no tears in his eyes, which leads me to believe that this may be a farce. And he just trying to get out of work. You know, sometimes people just try to get out of work. So, either which way it go, we're going to let it play out. But we do have Mr. Damen Vega here. It is Thursday. We sit down and chop it up with Mr. Vega. Notes from behind the wire. And like I said before, I am not a specialist. I am not a psychologist, psychotherapist, psychologist, clinician. I am not a healthcare provider, mental health care specialist, none of the above. So my conversations that we have on this show, when we're talking to people, is just that. Us having really good conversations. Sometimes it get really in depth because of what we're talking about. We're talking about people's lives. We're talking about what they've gone through, their testimonies. And yet we sit here as though I'm going to unbox or unpack something to resolve issues in people's lives when hell, I got shit that I got to resolve in my own. But it's good to have the conversation. It's good to have the release. It's good to have the opportunity to see what other folks are going through in their lives, their testimonies, and how you can shape your own life to move forward, to keep pressing forward. But today, ladies and gentlemen, I have a very special guest in the building. What's going on, show, Tapasola? What's going on, show on the West Coast? But before I go another further, make sure, if you can hear my voice, that you share this live. Hit that little button in the corner. Make sure everybody knows what's going on. Make sure you share the live. Lock us in, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. And if you have not, ladies and gentlemen, subscribe to Boss Talk Podcast 101, Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime. What the hell are you waiting for? This for you.
What's good, beautiful people? It's your main man, Big G, here on Industry Talk, and welcome to Primetime Pod, the hottest information resource outlet for all things entertainment, breaking news, celebrity interviews, and the hot topics of the day. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow us on all social media platforms, our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, you name it, we're on it. Just Google us, Boss Talk Podcast 101 Primetime.
Okay. And he got prime time vibe. Make sure you check it out.
Carol, why the fuck you think he missing? He
say? Man, I'm not trying to get a little messy with you.
Time is money.
They go trap.
Yes, indeed. Time is money. And since I don't have a whole lot of either, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. Today, we're talking with Emleigh Mitchell. I gave you the foreshadowing of what's to come. So, Emleigh Mitchell represents a powerful intersection of education, compassion, leadership, and community care, a social work clinical specialist affiliated with a hospital that I will not mention. Her work centers around helping children and families navigate through some of life's most difficult medical and emotional challenges. Yes, indeed. We have Emleigh Mitchell in the building with us today, right? Have any of you ever heard of the great state of Mississippi? You should, because I mention it every day I'm on my show. But have you ever heard of this school, this college, this university, this institution of higher learning, which was founded back in 1869? Why do I know? It's just because it's a very special school. Not to me, but yeah, I can say it's to me. I'm not going to say it. But this young lady graduated from Tougaloo College, one of America's most respected historically Black colleges and universities here in the States. Institution which was deeply rooted in legacy, civil rights leadership, academic excellence, social justice, community empowerment, and producing influential Black professionals that are tastemakers, stakeholders, game changers. So when I say I'm bringing Emleigh Mitchell to the studio to talk about mental health and awareness with Mr. Damen Vega, we're bringing a consummate professional to the stage. So, ladies and gentlemen, please bear with me, because today it's going to be Damen and Emleigh Mitchell having the conversation. I'm going to sit back in the cut and learn something myself. But in the meantime, in between time, before we get started, I just want to let you know that today's segment is being brought to you and sponsored by the Butterfly Collection. Today's episode of Industry Talk is proudly sponsored by the Butterfly Collection. That's right, the Butterfly Collection is here. Gentle stories, big lessons, bright imagination. Books are available at Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, Ingram Spark by author Angel Williams. These books are perfect for pre-K programs, kindergarten classrooms, elementary schools, classroom libraries, bedtime reading, and SEL programs. Be sure to get your copy today. Yes, indeed. Well, the question was posed and asked and presented the other day to tear it all down. Tear it down. Tear down the whole infrastructure. Tear everything down. Now, I disagree. But at the same time, everyone has their own opinion, and I respect everyone's opinion. But I have to say, how do we resolve? Come with solution-based ideas instead of tearing everything up, rioting, going to the streets, pillaging and plundering. How do we resolve things? Well, this is one way. Make sure that you go get those books and start at home with your kids. The Butterfly Collection by Miss Teresa Angel Williams. Yes, indeed. So now, let me bring to the stage Miss Emleigh Mitchell, ladies and gentlemen. Emleigh Mitchell, yes, indeed.
Hey, hello, everybody.
Hello, Miss Mitchell. Hello, Miss Mitchell. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm a little nervous, but I'm good. I'm good.
Good. Hey, no spoiled tomatoes and no rotten eggs. You know what I'm saying? Don't sit there and preempt my surprise like you did with Mr. Vega. You know what I'm saying? Okay, that's okay. That's okay because the audience doesn't know yet. The audience doesn't know yet. But yes, how you doing, sis? I mean, oops, how you doing, Em?
It's all good. I'm doing good. How are you?
I am fantastic. Are you ready for the conversation?
I am ready. I'm ready.
Yeah, good
Yes.
deal, good deal. You've been calling me with a little nervous nature. Why? When you do this, this is what you do. You are a trained professional in this field.
I am. I am. But this is a different platform. This is a
Okay.
different platform. It's public and it's
Mhm.
live.
Right.
And being a therapist, being a social worker, you have the opportunity to meet people in private settings. And
Right.
it's not recorded, it's not public. And so you
Right.
have the opportunity to meet people where they are.
Okay.
And you just have that opportunity to get a chance to hear people's story and be able to feel what it is that they're struggling with or what they need support with. So this is just a different atmosphere for me. So
Okay. Okay. I got you. So did I give you any just due on the intro? I mean,
I mean, I don't know who
yeah,
you talking about. I'm like, let me pop my collar. Yes,
yes, indeed.
love
I mean, well, hey, you did the
it.
daggone thing. I mean, I could have went all the way back to high school, OLA, and all that kind. But people ain't gonna know all of that stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We talk about the collegiate stuff. You know what I mean? And all of the accolades. I didn't even mention that. Your sorority, Delta Sigma Theta, and your community service work that you do. I didn't even mention that you and my aunt Kiara Isham run 3,000 miles a day. I didn't even mention some of the things that you have accomplished in your life, but yet, in fact, and also married to Pastor Ponytails. You know what I'm saying? A really wonderful fella who's going to be on the show on the first.
Uh-huh.
On the first, Lamont
Yep.
Mitchell will be here. Bishop Lamont Mitchell. Can I call him Bishop?
Reverend.
Reverend. My bad. I want to make sure I get it right. The Reverend Lamont Mitchell will be here. And hopefully he throws some holy oil at me, you know what I mean, to sit there and get us right on the show. But we will sit there and have a great conversation with your husband, Mr. Mitchell, as well. But I'm happy to see you. I'm happy that you're here joining us today.
Yes, I'm happy to be here too, brother. I appreciate you having me. Hey, you slipped up, so I'm slipping up too. Hey.
All right, people. All right, everybody that's joined. Yes, this is my beautiful sister. Yes, indeed. As you can tell, I am the good-looking one in the family. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, let me get a cut. Hold on.
No, see, she's just trying to show off them eyes. Yes, she does. Ebony eyes. She does have green hazel eyes. I don't know what the hell happened in the mix-up. Mom, please let us know what happened. But anyway, yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is my amazing sister. I do have another amazing sister who is an LPLLRL ML. She doing something in the medical field.
LVN.
Who's she loving? What?
A licensed vocational nurse. That we
Like
call
I'm supposed to know that.
in a family.
Come on, like I'm supposed to know. I don't know what that is. But that's what she does. Yes, indeed. And so Emleigh was paying attention to the story of Mr. Damen Vega. As you all know, if you've actually tuned in, Vega was sentenced basically to life in prison. 40 years on one thing, 50 years on another, run concurrent 90 years. And he ended up being released after 27 years. The charge was convicted murder, breaking and entering, and arson. But the Duke Innocence Project found him to be, of course, innocent. And he was released after 27 years. So there's a lot that comes with that. You've also had an opportunity to take a look at his book. Yes.
Yes.
Notes from Behind the Wire. Okay, so that's what we're getting into today. Okay, that's what we're getting into today. That's the talk. That's the conversation. And I'm going to allow Emleigh and Damen to get into this thing. So let me bring Damen to the table. Bring Damen into the studio. What's going on, Damen?
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
Fantastic, man. Fantastic, man.
Hey, Damen.
How you doing, Emily?
I'm doing good.
See, I got me some glasses now.
I see.
Oh, my goodness.
Looking all
He trying
I needed
to adapt all this kind of stuff. Yes, indeed. Oh, wow. You better tighten up. You better tighten up. I see Marilyn. I see one Marilyn Smith has tuned in to the live. One Marilyn Smith has tuned in to the live. Jonathan Shaw says, I'm an Army veteran, and you don't get a lot of people in her field that's willing to come on a platform like this. This is big. So you've already got some support in your corner. So look here. Without wasting any more time, we know what we came here to do. So, I'm going to let you take the floor. Okay. Damen, you guys have a great conversation, and I'll see you guys on the other side. All right?
Okay. I don't know. First of all, Damen, I don't believe that we know Galen is going to chime in and insert his conversation or insert something into the conversation. So we'll let him jump in whenever he feels comfortable to do so. But you're doing okay today, Damen?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Good.
Yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm in the process trying to get my air conditioner fixed in the car.
Yes, how's that going?
Oh, it's going good. It's going to cost a little bit, but I'm going to come up with it somehow.
Yeah, the summer's coming, so you got to get
it gets real hot down here in North Carolina.
Yes, I'm aware.
Yeah, I'm gonna figure it out.
Anything like Houston heat, if it's anything like Houston heat, you gotta hurry up and get that thing fixed.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yes. So Damen, I, like my brother mentioned, I did get an opportunity to be a part of the initial conversation in talking about your story. And I was very intrigued. And being a social worker, we get exposed to all populations, right? And so I was extremely intrigued because of your redemption story. And I loved your ability to be able to talk about what your experience was like in prison, once you were able to connect with the Duke Innocence Project, and then what your life is like now. And so being, a person of our population, Black and Brown community, oftentimes this is really a story that resonates with a lot of people. Because we do know Black and Brown communities are often represented in this particular entity or this system. We are highly represented in this particular entity. So I really wanted to highlight and have an opportunity to talk to you about what it meant to be incarcerated, what it meant to work with the Innocence Project, and then have an opportunity to talk about your redemption story, about providing hope and having the courage, to share your story. And I know that it has not only helped me, and you will always remain a special place in my heart, but for other people that are going to be able to hear your story as well. So thank you. Thank you for trusting me with your story today.
Oh, you're welcome. You're very welcome. I'm glad to be able to talk to you.
Yeah. I feel like your story, along with other people who have walked your journey, you all really share what happens when freedom, when identity, when mental health, when family connections and time is taken away from you. Like you mentioned, you were in prison for almost 27 years, and that's a significant amount of time. That's a very significant amount of time. And like I stated, that, this particular system, the justice system, is not favorable historically, and disproportionately it impacts our community. And so again, just wanting to bring out the sides of grief, because I'm sure that you've experienced some issues with grief and loss. Most people think of grief and loss with the death of someone, right? But death is not the only way that people experience grief. It could be being away from your family members, being away from a life that you knew that represented freedom, your identity. Those things were taken away from you. You represent surviving. You represent what it looks like to have a wrongful conviction. And then you also, which really resonates with me, you represent healing. You really do. And so I know that this is a really heavy topic, but I wanted to kind of start off with something fun, like a little icebreaker. So I'm gonna do like, if we could do like a little rapid round so people can kind of just get to know you, right? Outside of your story. Would you say sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise now.
Sunrise, okay, all right. Would you say phone calls or letters?
Letters.
Letters, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Would you say quiet time or crowded rooms?
Crowded rooms.
Crowded rooms, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Would you say cooking at home or eating out?
At home, cooking at home.
Cooking at home, okay.
You talking about now? You talking about now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, well, I'm gonna change that as far as crowded rooms, quiet time.
Quiet time, okay.
Yeah, I love my space. I basically just be in my room. I love my quietness.
Quiet time.
I love my solitude.
Yeah, me too. Would you say gospel, R&B, or old school hip hop?
Oh, gospel and R&B.
Gospel and R&B.
I can't get rid of the R&B, even though I really love gospel. I really love R&B also.
Me too. I always say it's a war. It's always a war, gospel and hip hop. Just certain days you need a little bit of both or one or the other.
That's right.
That's right. What's one thing in today's world that shocked you the most after your release?
In this day and age, it seems like everything's going back to Sodom and Gomorrah. Crime is really at a rapid pace. It's no unity, like it used to be. You can tell that things are not really heading in a good direction. If you read your Bible, it seems like the prophecies are being fulfilled, and it's best to just basically stay prayed up and focus on God.
Amen. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I want to thank you for being a part of, that little rapid round. I like to humanize people whenever we, are talking about such heavy topics, like this, and for people to just kind of understand again who you are. Let's talk about the first segment of our conversation. I really would like to talk about the day everything changed. Let's talk a little bit about can you kind of take us back to the day that everything changed for you? What did that look like? What did that feel like for you?
Going to jail on some unpaid parking tickets, and then ending up being lied on and being charged with first-degree murder. It was a total shock to me. I was just basically numb, and I didn't ever really think that it would have ever went this far. Knowing that I wasn't the one that had done this, I really thought that everything would have came to light, and then I would have been set free, that I would have been found not guilty. But all I could do was just keep maintaining my innocence and being strong for my family, going through the
Absolutely.
process with the court system.
Yeah.
Because in their minds, in the court system mind, they was trying to make people believe that I was the one that had done this. And when it came down to it, to the last day of my trial, which was 18 and a half hours on the last day, the lawyers finally came to me and said, man, they really didn't even have anything on you. I said, that's what I've been telling you all along, but even you all didn't believe in me, you know. So I had to really be strong, you know, for my family, you know.
Yeah.
That's basically what I had to do, is just be strong for them.
Yeah. I want to deal with that word strong, but let me ask you this before we go there. What did it like if we were able to be a part of you? Tell us what your body felt like, because that's traumatic. That's extremely traumatic to know that you're not going home to your reality, right? What you've known as your reality. So what did that look like? Was there a cringe in your stomach? Did you cry? Did you, like sometimes some people say, call my mama. Like what were you feeling? Like what was that feeling like for you?
The way I'm looking at you now, you wouldn't think it, but I was angry. I was
Okay.
confused.
Mhm.
Um, I was told that somebody in the jail was saying that I had told them that I didn't mean to do it. And I'm not knowing who this person was all the way up until the day of court. But
Mhm.
I was I was really hurt. And I just kept believing that the truth was gonna come out and I would have been let go, because I was facing the death penalty. So
Right.
seeing how it affected my mom and stuff like that, it really put me in a depression state. But
Mhm.
I really wasn't letting other people see that, because you can't show signs of weakness when you're incarcerated around a bunch of people in jail. You have to still maintain, you know, being strong. But it was really devastating to me to think that sitting here actually facing the death
Death
penalty.
penalty. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then, yeah, as time went on, they broke it down to second degree. And then it went to, they want to offer me 35 years, then 25. And then the day of the trial it went down all the way down to 15. So I'm really saying to myself, man, I'm gonna beat this. I'm
Mhm.
gonna win this case, you know. So there was hope.
Yeah.
My mom wanted me to take the 15 years because she knew how the Greensboro Police Department was, and she knew how the judicial system is. And she said, as long as we know you didn't do it, that's all that matters. But anytime that I've ever done anything wrong and I've been in trouble before, nothing like what I went to prison for,
Mhm.
um, I've always took a plea bargain for something way less, you know, because everything will be cut in half. A 10 will be cut in half to 4 years, and you get in the system, you'll
Mhm.
probably do 15 months or, you know, or 2 years. So I just couldn't accept the fact of me saying, yeah, I'll take this 15 years, and I have to say that I've done this. I couldn't do it. And
Yeah.
to this day, I still wouldn't have done it.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. That takes a lot of courage. And like you said, it took a lot of strength for you to maintain strength. It took a lot of courage for you to maintain hope, because most people would crumble in those particular situations. I think that incarceration statistics always say that incarceration significantly increases people's risk for depression, PTSD, anxiety, emotional numbness, hypervigilance, and suicidal ideations or even attempts, to die by suicide. So you say that, you had to maintain being strong. And so was there anyone that helped you on that journey? Was there something that helped you maintain your strength, your motivation to not give into the system?
Yeah, my mom, my grandmother, which passed away at 100 years old 2 weeks ago, and her sister, Miss Earlene Schaffner, which is 96 years old. And the fact that I was getting ready to have a daughter born.
Okay.
When I was in jail, I stayed in jail a year, and she was born on April 11th. And just the fact that I had that support for them really made me want to be strong and say that I can get through this. But once I was in the system, it was basically more people that was actually in there with life sentences. Actually, a serial killer from Greensboro, North Carolina, that I knew, he really guided me on what I needed to do to make it through it.
Okay.
Because when I first got locked up, I was just not really doing anything. And he told me that was the worstest thing to do. You need to make sure that you do something every day. You work, you read, you play sports, you go work out. He told me if I didn't, I was gonna mess around and have a rude awakening and end up bugging out.
Yeah.
So I took his advice, and I always made sure that I either got a job in the laundry, small engine repair, the cannery. I always made sure I went to school. I wrote my songs, played the piano in the chapel. So I kept myself busy, but in the process, I said I added up all that what I had to do, which was in 1989. My max out date was 2035. And I said, well, the only way I can do this is just concentrate on it 5 years at a time. So once 5 years got there, I said, I'm gonna work on this other 5. And then I started learning the law and getting into that Georgetown law book. And I said, I was paying people to try to do my law work, and that they were just ripping me off. But I was seeing all kind of consistencies, of seeing all kind of flaws in my case. So I did my own motion for appropriate release and did my own habeas corpus. And I said, I'm gonna fight to get myself out of here. So when I was getting them denied, and I kept seeing all kind of errors in my case. But when I really found out something that could have freed me, they barred me from doing any other motions. So that's when I reached out to the Innocent Project. They told me I was barred because I could have raised those issues on my first appeal. So
Gotcha.
I was like, man, what am I going to do? So I reached out to them. I reached out to the Civil Liberties Union in California, and they were the ones that told me about the Innocent Project in Durham, North Carolina.
Okay.
So I reached out to them, and that's how they took my case.
And when you say you reached out to them, was that a letter? Was that a phone call? Like, what did that look like?
No, back in the day, you only got to make 2 phone calls a month, but I reached out through them through a letter, and they seen the similarities in another guy's case that had a life sentence, and the crimes were similar, and they were basically the same, only a half a mile apart. And that's what got them interested in looking at my case.
Can I chime in right quick?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. I certainly appreciate it. And I didn't mean to break up the flow. Everything is going fantastic. I'm only going to be here for a brief moment. I have to give a big shout out to everyone that is tapped in with us. Bernadine Labat, what's going on, Auntie? How you doing? You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
In the building. Angel Williams, Jonathan Shaw. I'm just going through all of the socials where I'm seeing everybody's at. Our good friends from Nigeria are in the building. I see them over there on Twitch. Marilyn Smith, Bree, what's going on, Sister Bree? Brianna Milton, that's Aaron Estrada's mom. Regine Gagne over there in the UK. What's going on to Regine? We got people all over the world that tapped in, that's paying attention right now. John Blaze out there in Texas, hanging in there with us, man. Tanya Thomas, welcome to the party. Let's see where else. And over here on IG, let's see. Chiso or Shiso, Chizo. I do not want to mess up your name. How you doing, Tamara Lynn? I think that's Cuz. What's going on, Cuz? How you doing, Tamara? Everybody, welcome to the live. I have missed some people. My apologies. Let's see. Yeah, it's having problems with Instagram. I knew that. But like I was saying, before we go any further, I have to give a big shout out. You know what I'm saying, to all of our supporters and, of course, our sponsors. And today's sponsor for today's episode is brought to you by the Butterfly Collection, a series of books written by Miss Angel Williams. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Today's episode of Industry Talk is proudly sponsored by the Butterfly Collection. That's right, the Butterfly Collection is here. Gentle stories, big lessons, bright imagination. Books are available at Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, Ingram Spark by author Angel Williams. These books are perfect for pre-K programs, kindergarten classrooms, elementary schools, classroom libraries, bedtime reading, and SEL programs. Be sure to get your copy today. And SEL, for those of you who might not know, special education, special needs, learning, for those, because, a lot of people don't know the acronyms. I didn't even know the acronym. I'm just acting like I knew. But SEL, tap in with Angel and the books. They're out there ready for you to buy. Also, before we keep going, I think there was something else I needed to make you guys aware of. Mr. Jonathan Shaw, Emleigh, says, I love how she's actually paying attention to what he's saying. I've sat with a lot of counselors, man. Listen, they don't always give you that attention. So, to your professionalism and to your credit, being a very intentful listener, and Damen, of course, we know that your story is such an impactful one. The testimony, everything that comes out of it is going to be quite riveting, especially if you've never heard the story before. But I'm not trying to, can you dig off into some more with him, Em? You don't mind really digging off into, you know what I mean? Because Damon's sitting over there. He's got a whole bunch that's packed up in there. I promise you. I don't mind asking Damon questions. You're asking questions from a therapist standpoint. I'm asking questions from, that's my homie, that's my guy, that's my friend, that's my, so I ain't trying to unpack nothing. I'm just trying to get to the meat and potatoes of what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? The first time I sat down with him, what did I ask you, Damon? I asked you, did you do it, right?
Yeah, you did.
I think
that was the first question you asked me.
Yeah, I need to know the truth. I mean, if we're gonna go down this battle, we got to know, because eventually, as we get to it, the people that are listening and paying attention, they're gonna know if you're telling the truth or not. I even asked you, are you just gaming the system? Is it a con? Are you working the system? And he was like, hey, man, the one thing you told me, the Duke Innocence Project does not take people that are not innocent. They don't take on their cases. So that kind of shut me up. Yeah, that shut me up right
No, they don't. They'll cut all ties. They will cut all ties with you.
Right.
You make them look bad, Uh-uh.
Right.
And they research your case before they take anything, before they do anything, they research everything.
Yes, indeed. So, I'm going to yield
Yeah, I
the
reached
floor.
out to them, and I was probably about 3 years later before they. It was
Before they
about
reached
3 years
out to you.
later before they actually told me that they would take my case after they did their research.
Right, right. Well, I'm gonna yield the floor and
Okay.
let you get back into it. I'm out the way.
Sounds good. Well, David, I don't have the relationship you and my brother have, but so I do kind of come from a therapeutic standpoint. I hope that's okay for you.
Oh, it's fine. You do what you do best.
Okay, all right. And for the individual that commented on my ability to be intentional and listen to your story, and being that type of counselor, what I would tell you is it's like a pair of shoes. Keep trying them on until you find the right one that matches your outfit and that makes you feel good and confident. And if a counselor or a therapist is not right for you, you're hiring them. So you have the ability to hire and fire who you want. You're using your dollars. So continue to find the right therapist, one that gels with you, because at the end of the day, you're there to advocate for yourself and seek the healing that you need. So that's that. And same goes for you too, Damen. I wanted to talk about what I really want to talk about, and I really want to bring to light about, the population of Black and Brown people, right, who are incarcerated
Yeah.
or have been convicted of crimes that they are not guilty of, right? And so when I was doing some research, what really made my eyebrows rise is that it says that 58% of people exonerated through different innocent projects are Black. That's 58% of people who, are exonerated are Black individuals. That's pretty significant. And then it also says that Black Americans are estimated to be nearly 7 to 8 times more likely to be wrongfully convicted of murder than our white counterparts. That
Yeah.
that is so profound, right? That is such a profound statistic. And what that really means to me, let me tell you one more. And then it says that in 2024, 78% of exonerees were people of color. We said that. And then exonerees in 2024 lost nearly, listen to this, 2,000 combined years of wrongful imprisonment.
Yeah.
You
That's
can't
sad.
tell me, yeah, it really, really is. And when we talk about the disproportionality of, Black and Brown people who are faced with these types of realities, right? Sometimes we don't have the funds to hire a legal team. Sometimes we don't have the family members, right, to help pour into us to remain strong. And like you said, if you don't stay active, if you don't stay involved in your own life, you can go down a path to where your mental health is affected, right? Talk to us a little bit about how
Yeah.
your mental health was affected. And let's be real about what that looked like for you. On TV, we can see what it looks like, but we know that that's not always real. But talk to us, like walk us through what your mental health looked like. Were there times where you thought about death by suicide? Were there times where you wanted to just break down and just whatever? Like, talk to us about that.
I don't know. I was 21, 22 years old and going to one of the worst prisons in Raleigh, North Carolina, Central Prison, and having to see people get stabbed, killed, raped,
Yeah.
and then actually have people come at me in those kind of ways, sexually, and having a fight. It was almost like renegade school. it affects you mentally, but you in a situation where you got to survive, and sometimes you really didn't know what you could do. You know, am I gonna have to kill somebody to protect myself? Or, you know, you're always looking over your shoulder. You might be in the commissary line and somebody just walk up and start stabbing a guy. So it puts you in a frame of mind where you always had to be on alert 24/7. So yeah, it did mess with me mentally, you know, because you know, you in a total different world compared to out here in society. And when you have to be in that world in there for so long, um, you don't even really think about the world out here no more, because it's just all about making it from one day to the next. You know, and you know, I did reach out to psychologists. You know, I used to get real bad headaches, you know, from just being stressed out sometimes. And when I did reach out to a psychologist, um, he tried to come on to me, you know, sexually, you know. So um I didn't even know who to trust, you know. It really affected me, you know. So I ended up just really being to myself, you know, didn't hang around nobody. I just didn't know who to trust. So it's almost like you in a world, you there, but you're really not there. That's the way I had to start putting my mind to where I got to figure out somewhere to try to get this disassociate myself from being in this environment, because um in them early 90s, it was bad. It was really bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So everything that you just shared, what that basically is, what you described was you had to learn some different survival skills, totally different survival skills that you would have, that you would use if you were, you know, in back in your regular reality. But now your reality is incarceration, in jail. And so you had to, what I heard you say, disassociate. You were hyper vigilant. You were traumatized. Number one, someone that you're seeking for help, and they are, number one, crossing unprofessional lines. First of all, that is disgusting to hear. So I'm so sorry that that even happened when you're supposed to be trusting an individual who's supposed to be helping you. But then you also,
Yeah.
yeah, and then you talked about having to think about your life or somebody else's life. And now you're even talking about whether or not you want to survive and think and want to continue with life because of the reality that you're having to currently live in. And that is extremely difficult. Difficult. And it's hard to keep hope alive. But the fact that you were able to still keep that desire, that motivation, the ability to maintain hope is so inspiring. It really is.
Yeah, see, in the prison system in the 90s, it seemed like all the black guys that got a lot of time, they had to go down there to Tillery, North Carolina, called Caledonia and Odom, and it was a farm, and it was built in 1890, and it wasn't nothing but killers, rapists, child molesters, you know, and they putting you in an open dorm where there was nothing but the shower was open, the toilets was right there by the showers, the sink was there, and the bed area in just one dorm, and it wasn't no curtains or nothing like that. So um, you're liable to see people having sex in the next bunk beside you, and it was, you better not say nothing, you know. So like I said, it was a rude awakening. It was like a shock to you, you know. And I used to say, man, what in the world have I gotten myself into right here? Lord, have mercy. But the white inmates, which was very few there, they send them to the real good camps, no matter what kind of time they had. They send them somewhere else, but they always send all the black guys to the bad prisons. You know,
Wow.
so
Wow.
you had to stay down there on that farm with the kind of time that I had. You had to be down there, 4 or 5 up to 10 years before you can even try to transfer and get to a prison like that. But they never really wanted you to leave that prison with the kind of time that you had. So basically, some guys would stay down there 10, 15, 20 years before they could ever get somewhere to where it could be a little easier for them. When they adopted to 85% law and went away with the 1/8 law, they started transferring us out of state to Mason, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Texas, and Rhode Island, and to those private prisons because the recidivism rate was so high. As soon as they were letting people out, they were coming right back, and they used to have a prison cap, wouldn't hold nothing but 20,000. Once it went over that cap and it was 28, 29,000, once Christmas came around, they called it the Christmas rush. And the people that had 2 or 3 years, they'll push them out so it can get the cap back down. But when they done away with the prison cap, it ended up being 30, 35, 40,000 inmates. And it was just so overcrowded. They just started transferring all the 1/8 law out of state and moving all the 85 percenters in. So it was always something that was going on. It started being all about money and
Yeah.
like I said, something was always going on that was challenging you up here mentally.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Can y'all hear me? No? Y'all can't hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay. As long as you can hear me.
Can you hear me, Emily?
Yeah. Well, look, this is what I wanted to say, and I'm gonna let you guys continue. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns for Damen or for Emleigh, to ask Damen, please chime in. Let us know. Aunt Bernadine, are you in a place now that you feel you can make a difference with the next generation? That's the question. Let me see if I can see if it's showing up over here. Because if it's showing up over here, I'll put it up. And so
are you asking me that, Galen?
That's from one of the individuals that is on the live right now. The question is, are you in a place now that you feel you can make a difference with the next generation? Okay. So let me see if I can get Emleigh back in right quick.
Can't hear you, Emily.
Okay. So she's gonna have to come back in. Gonna have to kick her out and have her come back in. Yeah. Okay, Dame, can you hear me?
Hey, Galen, I talked to her. Yeah, I can hear you, Galen.
Okay. Yeah, let me tell her to come back in. What were you saying, Dame?
Galen, I talked to a lot of people out here. I also witnessed to a lot of people too about coming to Christ. And
Yeah.
man, I got a bad habit, man. It seems like every time I ride up to a corner, man, and I see somebody homeless, man, I'll throw them $1, man, for the simple fact, man, that I think about when I used to be that way,
You were homeless,
and
right.
yeah, even though I sometimes, know what they're going to do, my heart still goes out to them, but I still try to witness to them, man. And people that I see that's going in the wrong direction, man, I still try to talk to them, but you can still see that they ain't really trying to hear what you got to say. But
That's
I
right.
feel good knowing that I at least tried to do my part.
Right. Come on back in. I kicked you out because the audio wasn't picking up. There you go. All right, good stuff. Yeah, I'm listening to you, Damen. You back?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Damon just was making a point. And Auntie was asking the question, and you didn't hear the question. Are you in a place now? This is Bernadine Labat in the live, and I was asking everybody if you have any questions, comments, and concerns, please put them up here so that we can sit there and feed Emleigh the information. The question is, Jay Boogie, what's going on, Jay Boogie? Welcome to the live, Jay Boogie. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we got people chimed in from everywhere today. Nigeria, the UK, Regine Gagne from the UK, and every other way, Texas, Florida, they're all in here today. Let's see. And I am cussing all y'all out after this live. I don't mean to interrupt, but y'all don't come see my ugly ass just because my beautiful sister and Damen on here. Y'all some funny acting folks. I just wanted to let y'all know that. Anyway, but Bernadine was saying, are you in a place now that you feel you can make a difference with the next generation? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That she's asking Damen that question. Of course, let's see what else we got here. Kiara Isham Smith. Continue to witness them, Damen. You'd be surprised how much is absorbed. I guess that was in response to something that you were speaking about here just a minute ago, Damen. And when you got off Damen was making reference to him.
Yeah, I was saying I wouldn't.
Yeah, him coming to Christ and him seeing, homeless people on the street, and he actually going out and trying to, bear testimony and be a part of and contribute. And he's saying that folks, they ain't really trying to yell at that. Even homeless folks, because he's just reflecting on times when he was homeless at one time. That was when you had gotten off. But there again, I'm back out. I love you too, Jay Boogie. You know that. I see you. Tiny Thomas, yes indeed. How you doing? Yes indeed. Let's see. Hold on a second. Before we keep moving, let me check on a couple of things right quick. Emleigh, question.
Yeah.
Do you know who today's sponsor of the show is? Do you know who that is?
Butterfly Connection.
Yes. Today's episode of Industry Talk is proudly sponsored by the Butterfly Collection. That's right. The Butterfly Collection
I knew that.
is here. Gentle stories, big lessons, bright imagination. Books are available at Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, Ingram Spark by author Angel Williams. These books are perfect for pre-K programs, kindergarten classrooms, elementary schools, classroom libraries, bedtime reading, and SEL programs. Be sure to get your copy today. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Damen, Vega, and Emleigh Mitchell. Emleigh is here today as a specialist, as a mental health specialist. Like I said, when I am out of my depth, I can admit to it, but I go find assistance in every way, shape, form, and fashion that I can. I have a lot of friends that are criminals. It's just the truth. A lot of you who know me know that. But at the same time, the fact that we're criminals doesn't mean that we're not human.
Yes, it.
The fact that we make mistakes in our lives and we've been chastised or thrown in prison or basically thrown away, becoming indentured servant, doesn't mean that we don't have trauma, things that we experience. And of course, Damen is the exception to this rule. You heard the statistics earlier today or early on in this program. He was convicted of first-degree murder, arson, breaking and entering. Basically had to serve a life sentence, released after 27 years because the Duke Innocence Project, after writing, and he never pleaded guilty to anything. He always stood on his innocence. And we're talking to Damen right now. We're unpacking his story. And like I said, the only thing I could offer Damen was conversation and being there as a friend. Someone that he could talk to, someone that we could do business with, because we have his book that is on the way, ladies and gentlemen. We're working on his book, Notes from Behind the Wire, 27 years of documented information that he sat there and transcribed over his time in prison. But yet, in fact, this man had to sit down for 27 years and he was found to be innocent. not fully yet exonerated, but innocent, ladies and gentlemen. We're still fighting for a full exoneration so that he can get his reparation, restitution, money owed, money due for 27 of his years for being taken away because of a really jacked up system in Greensboro, North Carolina. And we're talking about the justice system, law enforcement, SBI, the list goes on and on. I'm not trying to take away from your platform right now, Em. I just had to fill in everyone about what's happening. If you don't know Damen, I want you to know Damen Vega. Because you're looking at a man who sat down for 27 years and had to go through 27 years of torture. You say, well, you know, not every day of his life was bad. I wouldn't give a shit if I had to spend 15 minutes behind bars.
Mm-hmm.
The reality of it is he was innocent and still had to serve that time. So I'm not the individual to have this conversation and give any type of true counsel. I can give compassion. I can give understanding. I can give, you know, a positive word. But when it comes to the medical professionals, I leave that to them. So, Em, I am going to let you have the floor again. Damen, you guys, it's a great conversation. Keep it rolling, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed. Any questions, comments, or concern, let us know. Let us know.
So, Damen, let's take our conversation a little bit deeper, right? 27 years. Let's pause there for a second, because that's a long time, right? What were some of the things that when we're talking about grief and loss, right? Grief is the emotion, loss is the behavior that we experience as a result of grief, right? So talk to us about some of the things that you lost. What were some of the things that you missed out on after being in prison for 27 years? You talked about your child,
Life,
right? Yeah,
living.
talk to us about all of those things.
Yeah, not being able to raise my daughter, Amari Vega. Not being able to marry her mother. I couldn't marry her while I was in prison, knowing the time that I had. She needed to go on with her life, but I was basically not really able to see her, my daughter, probably about 3 or 4 times out of the whole time I was incarcerated, because, you know, things just change when you're in the system. You know, it's really hard to explain. You wouldn't want nobody to try to be with you and not be able to live their life, because they'll be locked up too on the outside. You know, I would never have wanted any woman to wait for me that long, but just basically, you know, not being around my mom, you know, my family, just being able to go on with life. Your life stops, really. You can't, I used to hate getting visits because it was so painful watching them go away. But my mom never wavered for the whole 27 years. She always would come see me once a month, you know, and she would always just tell me, I just want to see your face, just to know that you're all right. You know, but to have to see them go, it's a hurting feeling. It really is. I still think about it to this day. It's nothing that I would want to see, you know, somebody innocent, you know, have to go through, because, you know, it was a guy named Ronald Cotton, out of Burlington, was falsely accused. Darrell Hunt, he ended up taking his life after they found him and exonerated him. He got stomach cancer, ended up killing himself. And then Ronald Cotton was falsely accused. I was around, you know, at least 7 Black people that was actually falsely accused and ended up being exonerated. But everybody that gets exonerated don't actually get compensated. You know,
Yeah.
I noticed that too. But the thing is, I remember when I used to look at their cases, and in the back of my mind, I probably was no better than anybody else, because in the back of my mind, I was saying, man, that dude sitting there saying he didn't do that. Man, that dude know he did that, you know. So I can best believe how people were thinking about me. And then I ended up seeing them get out, and I was like, man, I'll never judge nobody ever again. But I don't I don't want to see nobody, you know, that's falsely accused ever have to go through the stuff that I went through. It'll it'll probably remain with me, you know, the rest of my life. I'm so happy to be free,
Yeah.
but sometimes I feel like I'm locked up in my mind. You know, I mean, I don't even deal with people. I'm a loner. Like I was saying to you earlier, I love my solitude. I never so much in my life love going to work and look forward to coming home and coming in this room that I'm in now and just laying back on my
Thank
bed and
you,
saying,
God.
thank
I
you,
know.
Jesus. I really do,
Yeah.
you know. But knowing what I went through back then, it's just something, Emily, that I'll never get over. I'll never get over.
Yeah.
No matter how much somebody might talk to me, um, I was done wrong, and they know that I was done wrong. And somebody really needed to pay for it instead of me, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
all I can do is just keep my faith in God and know that I still got my mama, you know, because if it wasn't for her, I don't even know what I'd be doing right now, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Mother's love is always so
But
unconditional.
I'm
Yeah.
really glad you,
I'm sorry.
yeah, she's got a tough love too. Uh, I might be 59 years old, but she still treat me like I'm 12. Yeah, she still treat me like I'm 12, but I welcome it. I welcome it. I might look like um I sometimes she say stuff to me and I look at her, I have a look like, you know, and she'll think I'm mad, but I'm not mad. I get a little confused sometimes because I've always been people were always telling me what I had to do when I was incarcerated. You got to do this, you got to do this. And when you're home and you're in society, they expect you to already know what you have to do. And I'm always sitting around waiting to say, you need to go take that trash out. You need to cut that grass. And you know, it'd be a little confusion there, but for some reason, I've never been able to get over that. I'm always still waiting for you to have to tell me what you need me to do, you know, and it's just always been like that.
Yeah.
Can I, let me chime in right
Prison
quick.
really affects you.
Yeah, you can finish. You can finish your statement, Damen.
Prison really affects you when you do a lot of time. Some people, it'll affect them if they only did 1 year, but anyone that does that kind of time, they're never really the same when they come back. You don't trust people.
Absolutely.
You don't trust them at all. You're always on edge. Can't stand it when somebody's walking behind you. I've lost 2 jobs like that behind somebody walking behind me because I was always like this constantly, you know, and you know, they knew. But it's just something that eventually I hope in time that'll go away. But the job I have now, I work by myself, you know, and I'm not around a lot of people, so I get to do what I need to do, and I always got my back up against the wall, so I'm pretty good with this job that I have now.
Good.
So speaking about being by yourself, I do have a question that has come in from Kiara Isham Smith. She says, I'd like to know if Damen spent the majority of his time alone, or were there any like-minded connections in prison that encouraged you?
I stayed to myself, but I always seemed to find someone that I could work out with or play basketball with, because you can't just totally be alone in there. But I would always try to find somebody basically that was like me, that basically had the same mindset that I did, people that wasn't getting into trouble, people that was working to try to get out of there. But a lot of people towards me, but it wasn't always good people. But majority of the time, when you seen me, I was basically to myself. And when you in a system, when you find people like that, they take people like that as being weak. They don't take people like that as being strong, because people hang in groups. They think that they're weak, they're scared, and half the time it was never like that. It was never like that, you know.
Okay. And of course, Jonathan Shaw makes a statement. He says, sometimes solitude is the most safest place to be as a veteran, because he's a military veteran. He deals with PTSD, and he loves his peace in his alone time. So before we keep moving on further, like we always do about this time, I always got to give a shout out to the people that that are in our corner. Boss Talk Podcast 101, Boss Talk Podcast 101, Prime Time. This one is for my people.
It's about that time. We decided we were going to do something a little bit different today, add some different elements to what we already do. It's going down there, trying to figure out ways to break the algorithm. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to all our channels, all our different platforms. Boss Talk 101, Boss Talk 101 Prime Time. It's crazy. We got to get it done, though. Boss Talk 101, what a boss is talking.
And make sure you tap into my good man, comedian Jarrell Braswell. If, in fact, you want to touch base with Jarrell Braswell, you want to book Jarrell Braswell for an event in your city, reach out to us. But tap in with Jarrell Braswell at www.jdcomedy.com.
Hey, what it do, world? It's your boy, comedian JB, the real J Braswell, comedian J Braswell. Hey, dig this. I got a website, man. Tap in at jdcomedy.com.
And I'm going to be honest with you.
Yes, sir.
Emily's probably about the first person I ever felt comfortable talking to. Emily's about the first person.
Hey, man. Hey, look, y'all, neither one of y'all gonna disrespect me on my podcast, man. You ain't gonna come on here and tell what? Come on, Damen. Man, I thought me and you was better than that, D. You mean we've been talking for the last 8 weeks, and you finally coming out to tell me that you ain't been comfortable with talking to your boy? Oh my gosh. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another great episode. I ain't got you muted.
Why you got me muted?
I don't have you muted. You got yourself muted. You got yourself muted. I don't have you muted.
I'm not.
I'm about to sit there and
I keep seeing muted every time you.
We about to end this live. It's
over.
No,
Galen. Galen. No, Galen. I really feel comfortable talking to you, but I'm talking about in a psychologist aspect.
I know what you mean.
You know
I'm messing with you. You know I'm messing with you.
I mean, I feel good. I actually feel good because I'm able to release, some stuff that I really just had bottled up inside of me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like Emleigh kind of brought that out. I wasn't expecting that, but I feel a little better being that I was able to talk about it. That's what I'm saying, sir.
Y'all keep on talking, man. Y'all keep on talking. Go ahead, Em.
Well, thank you for sharing that, Damen. A lot of people, and I appreciate you saying that, and I don't take that lightly. I'm getting a little emotional, but I don't take that lightly, Damen, because I think that people out in our community need to hear that it's okay to release, right? Because mental health is so stigmatized that you're crazy, or I don't want to be seen as being vulnerable, and I don't want to cry, and I got to be hard, and I got to be strong. But there are people like yourself, and there are people like me who are here to get connected so that you can get what you need and I can get what I need as well. Because me sitting here with you, it's not only just to help you, but it helps me too, because I feel like I'm living in my divine purpose. I feel like God has given me these skills to be able to help and draw the healing out of people who have given up. So I thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't given up yet, and I don't think I
You're
will.
not. You're
Uh,
not. You're
I done
not. And
came
we're
too far
connected.
to
We're
do
been
that.
connected for forever now. So I'm
I done
happy
been through.
about that.
Thank, thank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Anytime, I hope again. I hope again that I'll be able to talk to you. We'll be able to be on the show and be able to talk. But I feel good knowing that if a time ever came, I would ask Galen, "Hey, I need to talk to Emily. Maybe I got a few things on my mind. Maybe she can help me out with." I hope that it
Ah,
will be able to be like that because I just don't talk to
yeah.
anybody.
Yeah. Absolutely. And just like I shared the advice with the VA vet, right? With the vet, once you find your person, you found your person, and you stick with them. With those good pair of shoes is gonna always take you down roads that you never thought that it would. So absolutely, I am here.
Yeah.
Absolutely. hmm So let's kind of wrap up this segment
What
about
did you think?
grief. Oh, go ahead.
I said, what did you think about what Galen sent you about notes from behind the wire?
So I think that your story, I love the fact that you opened up and shared about your talents, about you writing songs, and about you using the gift that God has given you to be able to write and use your instruments to provide hope, not only to yourself but to others. Talk about that a little bit.
That's what helped me make it through
Yeah.
situations that I was going through. You know, even just being pen pals with somebody in the outside world, and you do find yourself wanting to connect with that
Mhm.
person, but after so long, they realize he gonna be in there for a long time, and it didn't do anything to me but make me want to write about
Yeah.
what I was experiencing because sometimes you don't even you'll think you in love with somebody, but basically you be more infatuated with the fact that you got somebody out there on the outside world that's dealing with somebody that's gonna be in there for a long time, and then when
Mhm.
they cut that off, it kind of traumatizes you, but it didn't do nothing but make me stronger, but it also made my writing skills a little better.
Yeah.
I started
Yeah.
being able to dig deep in my mind on things that I really wanted to say because most of my songs are based on basically rejection, being hurt. Um, but I was able to take that pain and put it on paper. So that's
Mhm.
basically, I mean, from the time that I got incarcerated all the way up until the time that I got out, that was the main thing that was on my mind is writing
Mhm.
poems and writing what I was feeling on the inside.
Yeah. Talk to us a little bit about where that comes from. Is that from your mom? Is that a gift that was passed on to you from your mom, your dad, other family members? Where does that come from?
I don't know. I know we had a R&B singer in our family named Curtis Harrison, um, out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Um, he was an awesome singer. But I think my love for music came when my aunt taught me how to play the piano when I was young. I was just so infatuated with it. And I've always wanted that instrument, but I ended up playing the saxophone and the clarinet. But I always wanted to go take singing lessons. I always wanted to play instruments, and I wasn't really able to. So I would always find people out here, and if they had an instrument in their home, I'd always be in there playing. But my love for music was just and writing. Just it was always something that I really loved to do. I mean, right now, I could write something right now just basically on talking to you. And I know I could make something beautiful about what transpired there. I've always wanted my story and my songs and the stuff that I write on the inside to be able to get out to other people, because when I was in the inside, people used to love I used to write their letters for them. I used to write songs for them, and I mean they loved it. We had a little group. It was just I always felt like that right there just really helped me make it through. But I will say this to anybody that's out there: don't ever stop doing what you love, because you never know what will become of it. You never know.
You
No matter, God gives everybody a gift, and if you don't use it, He'll take it away
He
from you.
will. He absolutely will. Is the skill of music and the arts, is that something that your daughter possesses?
Oh man, hey, she she sung to me when I first came home. My whole family was over here at the house, and man, I was shocked. I mean, a matter of fact, I was seeing Galen a video of her singing that night that I came home, and she's in Apaka, Florida right now, and she still sings. She's in the church, and she has a very beautiful voice. Very
Okay.
beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Would I be putting you on the spot if I asked you to sing one of your songs? If you feel comfortable?
No, no, I want to sing that song for my grandmother that passed away, if you don't mind, called No
I
More.
I want to hear. Yeah.
No more tears of sorrow. No more burdens to bear. No more hopeless tomorrows. No more, no more, no more. When I come down to die, my God, He will be standing by, and He shall greet me safely home, and He'll say, No more, no more, no more. When I reach my home on high, when I whisper my last goodbye, I'll see Jesus standing with open arms, and He'll say, No more, no more, no more.
Amen. Beautiful, Damon. That is, talk about
Thank
gifts
you.
of the spirit. Come on. I love it. That is beautiful. Now,
Hey,
where did the inspiration come from for that song?
I wrote that in 1982.
Okay.
Yeah, and when I sung it to my aunt, every time she sees me, she puts me on the spot and she makes me sing it. She would not go anywhere until I sing that song. So it's
Amen.
always been a favorite of hers. And then when my grandmother passed away, when they was putting her in the mausoleum, I sung that song for her because she was there also. They've always been somebody that stuck by me. But
Yeah.
every time I sing it, I mean, they just love it. So
Yeah,
that's
I do
their
too.
favorite song.
Yeah. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
add me to that
Yeah.
population too, because I love it. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Can I say a
Thank
little
you.
something?
Thank you.
Can I
Galen always
interject a
trying to
little
get me to
something?
sing at the end of the show.
Yeah, I was about to say.
He always trying to get me to sing. So
They ain't even right, Damon.
I
You
done
ain't even
got
right,
my
Damon.
song in for
You ain't even right,
the
Damon. I asked you to sing that song, man. You ain't even want, man, boy. You see how dudes get when beautiful females is in the room, get to popping willies without a seat, man. I don't believe it, bro. I asked you to sing that song last week, and you say, nah. But Emleigh get on here, beautiful face, nice, pretty smile, good looking eyes. You get to singing and dancing. Boy, I tell you. Woo! Yeah, everybody, it's funny. It's all fun and
No,
games
Galen.
now. But I will say this.
Hey, Galen, I wasn't feeling.
I know you weren't feeling good last. I mean, you was actually going through it last week, Damen. You know what I'm saying? The fact that your grandmother
Yeah,
had
I'm
passed.
surprised.
Yeah, I know. I know
Yeah.
you was going
And
through
then
it.
that happened at that motel.
Then the lady OD, you was trying to resuscitate, you were trying to bring her back to life. She died as you were trying to revitalize
Yeah.
her. So I'm like I say, it was a chain of events that I know just kind of just threw you off your square. But Jonathan Shaw, Damen, he says, we haven't met in person, but as Big G's knows, I will pull up. And he would like to meet you in person, even if it's just to have breakfast or dinner. He says, man, wow, you've helped my brother that's doing 8 years in prison, because he allows his brother to listen to the show every week in and week out. So he says he feels like he and Angel Williams, they owe you, and they appreciate you, and they say thank you, Damen. They say thank you. Kiara.
Wow. Hey, you know what? I can't say this, Galen. I've met people that was incarcerated. Basically, it's like you try not to focus on the outside world, and it's like some of the people that you meet in there, you can. It's crazy, man, but they were actually almost like my family, because it was really actually, you went through the bad times, but it was actually some really good people in there. And that inspired me to also write songs about that too, because when I got out, man, I used to really try to send them a little change and stuff and try to help them, because it's been times where I knew people that said, man, when I get out, I'm going to look out for you. And they never did. But I changed that, because when I got out, I made sure that the ones that was really cool with me, I made sure that I sent them something, man, to let them know that they'd always have somebody that they could depend on, man. And I still do that to this day. I'm serious. I don't have much, but I'll take what little I have just to make sure that they know that they got somebody that care about them, because that does mean a lot. It really does mean a lot when you know that you got somebody out there that cares.
I also need to adjust. I need to address a couple of things. Let's do some house cleaning right quick, so we can get some straightening on this podcast, on this live interview. I understand that Emleigh Mitchell is running the show today. I get it, ladies and gentlemen, but you're not gonna disrespect me in my shit. You understand what I'm saying? And I ain't talking about Emleigh or Damen. I'm talking about these people in these comments, like Holly Marie Hawkins, Jacobs Hawkins. talking about please don't sing, G. Hold up now. Just because Damen get on here and he got a little bit of a voice, something don't mean I got it now. I got it. You know what I'm saying? I was a part of the St. Rose Choir back in the day. I got it. You know what I mean? I know this little light of mine. Don't have me get started, people. Don't have me get started.
Emleigh, you want another song?
I can bring.
Please
Hold on a second, Damen. Hold on a second,
right
Damen.
here.
I said I got some house cleaning. Because Kiara Isham made a comment in here too. She said, I ain't got to touch. Just because Emleigh is a trained professional in this shit, I got to touch, doggone it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I'm gonna use it one of these days, but it just ain't ready right now. So shit. Y'all gonna respect me on my podcast. Now, what you talking about singing, Damen? What's going on? Because we ain't finished. Em still got some more stuff to talk about, I'm sure. Unless you about to close this thing down. What you got, Em?
Yeah, I'm ready for Emleigh to ask me some more questions.
See, ain't that? I'm gone. Bye. People put.
He a mess. He is a mess. Now imagine living with that right there. I'm 48. Imagine living with that for 48
Yeah.
years. Woo, Jesus. Talk about your mental health. You see why I had to go into the helping profession? I had to help myself.
Yeah.
My Damen, my husband, he sends us scriptures every morning, like inspirational things every morning. And this is what he sent this morning. He says, what I've noticed about God is that he starts his most meaningful work in what people consider insignificant places, painful places, confusing places. Can anything come from a divorce? Can anything good come from depression? Can anything come from being incarcerated? Can anything come from losing a good job? Can anything come from a broken heart? He says that declaring today that something good is coming from this. And it says, and it comes from the scripture, Romans 8:20, which is our favorite family scripture, right? Which says, and we know that in all things God works, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who are called according to his purpose. Romans 8:28. And so talking about faith and talking about being in prison and talking about how you were able to be able to share your story and find strength in such a dark and lonely place, right? Having to be hyper vigilant, having to fight through your own mental health. I hate that I hate that you had to go through 27 years of being in prison. But what I do love about your story, Damen, is that you are still able to insert hope in people. Maybe that's not my journey, that's not my walk, but there are still things that I go through, other people go through on a daily basis, where your story is, if Damen is able to do it and get through and be able to persevere, I can too. And that's a gift from God. So I thank you for staying the course and doing what God's work is. And that's sharing your story.
Thank you very much. I'm glad that I was able to inspire some people, by talking about my story. Because everybody don't really be able to make it, out of there. And some of them that do, they don't never be the same. They don't. They'll end up bugging out or wanting to go back because they can't make it out here. That actually happened to me one time where, you know what's crazy, Emleigh?
What's that?
When I got out, they diagnosed me with PTSD, and they diagnosed me with PTSD, and talking about bipolar, and was trying to put me on this medicine, and I'm walking around here like a zombie. I can't focus, and all that medicine that they was putting me on was making me crave other stuff. And I didn't even need it. But the thing that got me, when they tried to put that label on me as being bipolar, and I never looked at myself as being bipolar. I can believe the PTSD part,
Yeah.
but that bipolar didn't sit right with me. So maybe you can explain to me, basically, you know, really about a person being bipolar, because I can't seem to, accept that one. So
So,
can you tell me, basically, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Finish your question. Tell you what.
No, can you tell me what your perception of being bipolar is?
Yes. So I'm going to explain it to you in layman terms, right? Bipolar, listen to the word bipolar, right? So bi means 2.
Mhm.
And what that basically means is that it's a mood disorder. And bipolar is 2 different moods. One is where you have really extreme lows, where there's depression, isolation, sometimes there are thoughts of wanting to die by suicide. There are times where you may turn on yourself and may want to hurt yourself or others. And then there's an immediate or based on some triggers or things that may be going on in your life. There's an extreme high where you are excessive in your behavior, shopping, smoking, being promiscuous. It could be where some people go into a psychosis where you are outside of yourself. You're extremely hyper vigilant. You're always keyed up. You can't trust people, and so you're always nervous, thinking that someone is going to hurt you or harm you. So bipolar is when you have these 2 separate moods where you shift between the 2. You don't have control over it, but you often shift between the 2. And that particular diagnosis is based off of you not being able to adjust for 6 months or longer. And so that's where that comes from. I think we're frozen.
I think he dropped out. He'll be back.
Okay.
Damen will be
Okay.
back. And while we have a moment, let me give a shout out to everyone that is rocking out with us today. Tanya Thomas, Angel Williams, Jonathan Shaw, Bree Melton, Marilyn Smith, Regine Gonnier over there in the UK in London, Danya Jackson. Oh, I didn't know Danya was on the line. What's going on, Danya? What's happening with you? What's happening, Danya? What's going on? Long time no hear. Tolu, what's going on, Tolu? Tisha, my original partner in crime. I didn't know Tisha Lee was on this thing. Back in the day, me and Tisha was the original hustlers of Bay St. Louis. You know what I'm saying? We used to hit the streets selling raffle tickets and shit for the NAACP awards, Mother of the Year awards for moms and everything. We was the original sales people, the originals. Big shout out. Job Blaze, Jerry and Job Blaze, Show Tapasaur, the West Coast in the building. Kiara Isham Smith is in the building. We have over 105 comments on this feed today.
Woo!
Over
I think you need to hire me. I think you need to hire me for the show.
What? I think there's some static.
Just look at the following, okay? Just look at the following. Come on.
Man, let me get Damen back on here, man. Let me get Damen back up in the thing. Damen, are you back? Damen, are you back?
I don't know what happened. Must be some of that Mississippi Wi-Fi.
Hold up now.
No, hey.
Look, one thing I will not tolerate is Mississippi disrespect. Just because you're from North Carolina and just because you now look, I asked this question and I'm trying to be respectable. You know what I'm saying? I did ask this question. You know what I mean? I asked JB and I asked a couple other people. I said, I got nicknames for people. I call call people different things, this, that, and the other, and you sitting there, you want to throw that comment out there. You know, I mean, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? I know you might be a killer, but don't push me, nigga. You see, it's too
Ain't no
fast,
killer.
it's too quick, too soon, Emleigh. Is it too soon? You know what I'm saying? You know, no,
Yeah.
I'm just
Ain't no
he's
killer.
innocent, ladies and gentlemen. I can only make that joke if he's innocent. You know what I mean? If you
Yeah, but Emleigh, what you just said though, maybe I am bipolar, because what you just explained is some of the stuff that I actually went through one time. With the mood changes. Sometimes I would be sad, and then it would sometimes I'll be real happy, and my mom will look at me real funny, and she would be thinking, is he high or whatever? And I would just be happy. And then one minute I'd be sad, and then one minute I had actually wanted to go back, and I had actually threw an ashtray through the police hub one time, and I had got tired of going through the stuff that I was going through out here. And I actually threw an ashtray through the police hub, and they came out there and put guns on me and everything. And I laid on the ground. And when I went to jail, one of the ladies from mental health came over there, and she asked me, she said, "Do you really want to go back?"
Right.
And I said, "No, ma'am, I just need some help." And so what you just explained to me, I actually really know what that act means now. So I can say that, because the things that you just explained is the same exact things with those mood changes. I never thought about killing myself, but all that other stuff that you were saying pinpointed straight to what I was going through. But when they diagnosed me with all that and I filed for disability, I would always get shot down, and I was going to places like behavioral health, Monarch, and things like that, seeking help. But every time I kept getting denied, because I was actually having problems functioning out here when I got out.
Yeah. Talk to us
I
about
really
that.
was. I was really having problems.
Yeah.
Well, hold on a second, because I'm about to come off the screen.
Huh?
I just need to say this before y'all move forward. Like I said, I was doing some house cleaning before I stepped back off the panel, and I don't want to interrupt. But to Holly Marie, this is in reference to what you were saying, about hiring you to be on the show. Holly Marie says, yes, my sister and Damen has boosted your show. Emleigh for the hire. Yes, I'm going to actually block all three of y'all. So how about that one? I'm gonna block all three of y'all. And then Jonathan Shaw, thank you for chiming in. He said, yes, they did. I'm about to block his ass too. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking it's supposed to be law supporters of industry talk. You know what I mean? And I'm getting shafted on my own job. You know what I mean? I don't understand this, ladies and gentlemen. What's really going on? But I digress. You know, I understand when I need to yield the floor. So please continue. And I'm just giving you a heads up that we coming up on 2 hours. So I y'all can stay as long as you want, but since I don't need to be here no more, got some shit to do. How about that? So please go ahead.
Okay. Damen, you were talking about there were times where things triggered you, right? And you were talking about that you had thrown a ashtray into the hub of the
Your screen is black, baby. Your screen is black. I don't know what happened.
Police department. I threw it through the window.
She's coming back, but her screen was black. You know, it was fading in and out for a second there. I want everybody to be able to see it clearly, Damen. Just like we see you crystal clear, we need to be able to see her crystal clear. She'll be back in just a second.
Yeah.
Damen, this is an awesome conversation, awesome interview, Damen. Every time we get on here week to week, it's something new, it's something exciting, and it is definitely assisting some people that are tuning in and listening, and even the ones that pay attention to the conversation after the fact. Let's get Emily back into this thing. Let's see if we got it. There you go. Now we can see you clearly.
You can see me now?
Yeah, what was going on with the lighting?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, but you good now. You straight now. Let me get out your way.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually threw an ashtray through the police hub is what I was saying because I got tired of going through what I was going through out here. Here I am. I was released from prison, and it just seemed like I couldn't get anybody to understand me.
Yeah.
And then the Innocent Project was still fighting to try to get me exonerated, and everybody was coming at me with all kinds of stuff, money, drugs. It seemed like my family wasn't understanding me at that time. I didn't even feel like I was a part of society, and I was like, man, I'm gonna go do what I know best, and let's just go back, you know.
Yeah.
And when I threw that ashtray through the police hub, and that lady asked me when I was in jail, do you really want to go back? And I told her, I was like, no, I just really need some help. You know, I'm really going through it on the mental side, you know.
Yeah.
And I kind of came out of that when I started going through behavior health and Monarch, and started going on a outpatient basis where I could actually talk to somebody at that time. But I think before anybody ever gets out of prison, that they need to talk to a mental health counselor, because when you go in there, they make you talk to one to see where you at mentally.
Yeah.
So they actually need to have you talk to one before they release you back out into society too.
Absolutely. While you're there too, in serving time, you know, meeting with a licensed medical professional is definitely important, but absolutely coming out because you got to readjust. You just talked about what it was like for 27 years. So that's your daily life. That's your custom. That's what you had to adjust to. And none of those survival skills that you used on the inside apply to what life is like on the outside. And so now you're having to dismiss all of what you learned on the inside and try to use it on the outside, and it just doesn't fit.
Yeah. You know, I've said this to Galen before, but the mental health institutions that are out here now, like they have Dorothea Dix in Raleigh, they ended up not accepting a lot of it used to be where some people that really had mental issues, they would send them there instead of sending them to prison. But
Mm-hmm.
they started doing away with those mental health places out here, and they started putting those people that had mental issues inside the prison. And um, it was so many of them that they didn't have the staff to be able to help the ones that was really needing help. And it just made the prison system worse than what it really was.
Absolutely. And there is a stat that says,
But they have
mhm.
Ain't nobody saying
Galen,
nothing.
can you
I'll
hear
say
me?
something. I'll say something. I'll say something. Damon, before
Can you
y'all
hear
before
me,
y'all
Emily?
go forward, she might not be able to hear you. Can you hear Damon? Yeah, she tapped out right quick. Damon,
Yeah,
while we're waiting for
Mississippi
Emily to come back.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah. All right. Now you gonna have me you gonna have me go backwards in terms of what I was trying to get accomplished. Can you hear us now, Em?
Yes.
Okay. Damon, what is you have Cash App, Damon?
Yeah,
What's your Cash App, Damon? Tell me, spell it out for me.
yeah.
What's your Cash App?
Damon V8. All you have to do is put
DAMVEN.
my phone number in there, Galen, and it'll pop
No.
up.
That's not. See. You move too fast. Press the brakes. You got A on the line. Hold on a second. DAMVEN. Damon V8. Right. DAMVENV. That's your
Yeah,
middle
I think
name.
it's either it's either Damon Vega 8 or Damon V8. DAMEN VEGA, the number 8. And
So
you'll
it
see
is
my
Damon.
picture on there.
So it is
But I think
Damon
it's
Vega
Damon
8.
V8.
Okay, VEGA. All right. Look here.
Did you
I'm
see
gonna
it?
look up. No. Well, I look. This is what I need y'all to do, ladies and gentlemen. This is what I need y'all to do because I'm trying to make y'all understand what's going on here. Damon is in a situation, and he doesn't know that I'm asking for this. So before I put you on mute, before you cuss me out, Damon, just hold tight. Damon doesn't like asking anybody for anything. Me, on the other hand, I have no problem with asking or a call to action, right? Damon has been fighting with work. He's been fighting with trying to find a job. He's finally just got himself into a position with one of the hotels in the area. So he's really just getting started. He's dealing with his grandmother who passed away. He has some needs. He is starting to work right now. But if you find it in your heart, because Damon comes on here and he doesn't ask me for anything. I don't pay him anything to come sit down and have a conversation with me. This is something that he does out of the kindness of his heart, knowing that we are working on his book, knowing that we're working on promotion, knowing that we're working on trying to get him exonerated fully. So look, ladies and gentlemen, if you can find it in the kindness of your heart to send Damon something, I don't care what it is, any kind of love offering, any kind of love contribution, Damon to his Cash App, hashtag or $ DAMVENV8, DAMVENV8, or Vega, his last name, DAMVEN Vega, VEGA8. You'll see his picture. Y'all know what he looks like. If in fact y'all think about it, I don't ask people to do anything often, but I am making this concession towards what Damon has going on. He does have ongoing bills. He does have vehicle issues. He does drive across town to his new job, which is by the airport, and it's a good distance from his house. So there's a lot of things that he's trying to play catch up on, and he needs some assistance. So if you can find it in the kindness of your heart, bless Damon with a little something, ladies and gentlemen, and let these guys finish up with what they're doing in their conversation. But I had to get that out there before we got out of here. So let me get out of your way.
So Damon, just to kind of close up everything, we still got a lot to unpack, right? And a lot to talk about, but we were getting into the
Yes,
meat and
ma'am.
potatoes about mental health. And what it says is that prison institutions have now become what we will call our mental health institutions, because they
It
are
is.
housing, yeah, because they're, instead of helping and instead of rehabilitating people who are living with mental illness, they are incarcerating them instead of providing them with the help that they need and the support that they need.
It's true. It's
Mhm.
true.
Mhm.
When I was in Ohio, they have now where you don't even have to fill out any kind of forms to see them. You can just do walk-ins. I mean, that's how many mental health issues that are going on those camps. And basically, the ones that do have mental health issues, it's actually harder for them to get out. So a lot of them that do have mental health issues, they conceal it because they
Yep.
don't want to stop them. They don't want to stop themselves from trying to get back out there to society. But
Mhm.
you have some real bad mental health um, um, people that's having some really serious issues that really needs help in there, and you have some really violent people in there with mental health issues,
Mhm.
that can just go off at any moment, so they don't really need to be in that kind of environment. They need to be somewhere where they're able to really observe them, because you can't observe everybody that really needs help that's in that situation.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that is also a mental health. This is now mental health, in those who are incarcerated is now considered a public health epidemic. And so there are a lot of things that are coming out about working with individuals who are incarcerated, but but there's also a lot of research and support that's coming out about helping those who have been released and learning how to readjust after living or being incarcerated for a short period of time, 1 or 2 years, but then even for someone like yourself who served a significant amount of time as well.
Yeah,
It's needed.
you basically have to be your own psychologist. You basically have to try to be your own psychologist. Just go ahead and just be strong and say, I'm just gonna make it through this,
Yeah.
regardless, because I couldn't believe that I actually had that mindset to say, man, I'm ready to go back. I can't believe that I had actually was in that type of thought pattern to actually say that after doing all that time. They didn't throw when they let me go, they didn't give me any compensation. I had a work release job, but it's like they was like, okay, you out. You're on your own.
Good luck.
You know.
Good luck. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
I've got to chime in right quick. I got to
Yeah.
chime in right
And
quick. Hold on a second,
hey,
Damen. Hold on a second.
what
Hold on a second,
really
Damen.
my
Damen, can you hear
family
me?
knew
I don't think you can
that
hear
it
me.
was a big difference with me when I came home. I was still trying to catch up to what I lost when I was 21 years old. I went back to trying to start right there instead of starting at 49 years old. And that was the biggest mistake that I ever made. Instead of just saying, I can't get that back, I need to move forward. I didn't have no kind of plan, what I wanted to do. My mentor, Mr. Bethay, that used to take me on CV passes, community volunteer passes, he said, look, you need to make a plan. You need to say, I'm going home. I'm going to stay there for 6 months. I'm going to save some money. I'm going to be able to go ahead and get me an apartment. I'm going to be able to do this. I didn't follow through with none of them plans because I was having problems adjusting.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me, Emily?
Yes, I can hear you.
Damen, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay. So we have some responses here that I need to put up on the screen right quick. And a quick question that's coming in from Tamara. What's going on, fam? Since this was a murder case, she's assuming or wants to know, was it a state case or federal?
State.
It was a state. It was
It
a
was a
state
state
case.
case.
Okay.
And they were trying me for the death penalty.
Okay. Gotcha. So you see the response up on the screen. So that's what it come in. So I try my best to make sure that everybody's questions, comments, and concerns are heard and talked about and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, we're good to go. And let me come on out the way once again. Yeah.
We were talking about mental health and what it was like for you readjusting once you were released. The way that I would like to end our segment for today is, because now that we know that incarceration is not just a legal issue, especially for Black and brown people, but it's a public issue because it addresses mental health issues. It addresses family issues and the grief and loss of being away from your loved ones and missing out on the birth of your child and being able to help raise her and having an influence and an impact of who she is. But it also is a story about racial injustices as well, right? And then at the end of the day, it's about a human story. At the end of the day, people who are incarcerated, whether you committed the crime or whether you did not commit the crime, you're still a human being. And what I love about your story, Damen, is that you are able to leave a legacy behind. You got your book, you have your voice. Your book is going to be here way beyond your life. It's going to be able to live on for generations and generations. You have your daughter here who's going to be able to tell your story. You have your voice that's going to be able to reach the masses and be able to remind people whether you were incarcerated or not, but there is hope. There is hope, and that's what mental health is, right? Everybody has mental health. It's the mental illness is that what other people don't have. But mental health, and maybe in Mental Health Awareness Month, mental health is defined as, and it includes emotional, psychological, and your social well-being. And it affects how you think, how you feel, and how you act. And it also helps determine how we handle stress, relate to others, and how we make choices. And the fact that you are living, you talk about some of your struggles with your mental health, but you are actually able to make choices that is bettering your mental health and the mental health of others. So thank you, Mr. Damen, for being here today, trusting me with your story, trusting us with your story. And like we said earlier, I hope that we get an opportunity to talk again and be able to unpack some more additional things about your life. Uh-oh, I can't hear you. I think I lost you. Oh, you're on mute, Damen. That's why I can't hear you. You're on mute. Gillen, can you take Damen off of mute?
He's got to take himself off mute. Okay. Everybody will be back in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, you back in? He'll be back in just a minute. And so, are you there, Em? Can you hear me, Emily? She can't hear me either. So let me kick her out and bring her back in as well. Hell of a conversation today, ladies and gentlemen. One for the record books. Yes, I can say that. And of course, we have another statement that I'm going to read when Damen and Emily get back onto the live. Everyone that participated, everybody that came in, chimed in, and made your voices heard, engaged into the conversation. I appreciate you. Everyone that is tapped in. Let's see if we can bring Damen back in right now. Emily, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, we're good to go. You good, Damen? Can you hear us, Damen?
Yeah, I told you it was that Mississippi Wi-Fi, but I'm good now.
All right.
I don't know why you muted me, Galen.
Look, you muted yourself. I don't know what happened. For some odd reason, it was just on mute. Probably somebody tried to call you. You know what I mean? They seeing all this action going on over there. Seeing all that smoke. You told me to put it on airplane mode. I put it on airplane mode like you told me. But ever since I sang that song, you put me on mute. Yes, indeed. Well, look, when y'all trying to come on this doggone podcast and run a little coup, a little E Brute, I'm not Caesar. I'm Big G, goddamn. Y'all got to remember that. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, Kiara Isham Smith, this is to you, Damen. Damen, you are very strong for admitting that you needed help. So many of our Black men are afraid to seek help for mental illness. People hear illness and shy away from it, just like you expressed how Emily made you feel comfortable. you made it comfortable for someone
Yes.
else to seek help just by saying, I need help. God bless you.
Wow.
Yeah, and you got a lot of feedback and a lot of responses.
God bless
on
whoever
this
said that
today.
too.
Yeah. Kiara Isham is her name. That is my aunt, my mother's sister.
My aunt too. Don't do that. Don't try to take it for yourself. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
And I will say this, my aunt and I are basically about the same age. So I don't know what my grandmother and my mom were doing around the same time, but shit, I'll be damned. Hey, it is what it is. And to my grandmother, rest in peace.
Galen and Emily, yes, rest in peace. I look forward and I hope that I'll be able to talk with Emily again. It really meant a lot to me. I thank you, Galen, for making this possible, man. I really did. I really do. I got a good insight on something that I didn't think existed within myself that I can actually face up to now, because I was in denial about one thing, and that was about being bipolar. And I can accept that now and be able to say, hey, it's cool. It's something that I can work on, and know that if I ever need to reach out to somebody when I'm ever going through something, I can reach out to somebody instead of trying to hide it and make things worse. I can actually make it better.
That's it. To God be the glory.
I do have a question. I do have a question before we get out of here, Em. One thing is we need the right cash app. You have some folks on here saying that we need the right cash app. I don't think $DAMENVEGA 8. I think it's Damen Vega 8. I think it's the full name. We'll get the right name. We'll get the right name and put it into the comments. But is there any way that you can check that, Damen, so that we can make sure that
8.
Okay, so it is the full name, Damen DAMEN Vega VEGA, and the number 8, Damen Vega 8, Cash App. Hit my brother up. I do have one thing, Em, and I need to ask this question for all of the individuals like myself that need to know the correct terminology.
Okay.
I need to know the correct terminology for people such as yourself, Damen, Jonathan Shaw, my little sister Holly as well. Is it inappropriate to call y'all some crazy motherfuckers? Can I call people crazy still?
No, you cannot. That is not.
Oh, man, that ain't no fun.
Correct. No.
What can I say? What can I say? I can't call y'all crazy?
No, you cannot. That is stigmatizing mental health.
No, because we're talking about mental health.
Drop this in the comments, ladies and gentlemen. Is it okay for me to use the term crazy? Can I call a motherfucker crazy? Please tell me if I can tell. Let me know. I'm in the field of comedy. I deal with comedians. I deal with entertainers all the time. Right? So, when we're talking about satire, when we're talking about social commentary, when we're talking about political correctness, right? And there's a lot of things that we can unpack here, from LGBTQ, from mental health, mental illness, from racism. We can run the gamut, in comedy, or even in, shall we say, the right of free speech. How can we put a hindrance on what people say if, in fact, we want them to be honest and genuine?
But not mental health.
If I have to curtail my words, and of course, there's nothing that I do with malice, vitriol, or ill intent. So, and I guess I'm asking because I don't want to offend. I don't want to sit there and have someone feel uncomfortable. That's why I'm asking the question. Because, I'm good for calling the motherfucker retarded real quick. Use a retarded motherfucker. So I want to know, is that okay to say?
No, it is not.
Damn, I can't say nothing no more.
In the comedy realm,
hey, Galen,
humor, comedy, laughing, do what you do. But when we're talking about mental health and how serious mental health is and how people already feel stigmatized as a result of wanting to seek help and needing help, those types of terms make me feel guilty for feeling what I feel or experiencing what I feel as a result of actual mental illness.
Okay, and Lamont Mitchell and a bunch of other folks are on here saying no with big old exclamation marks. So of course, I guess I'm being lambasted for me just being me. So I guess I have to sit there and change my modus operandi in terms of how I think, how I feel, how I am. You guys are wanting me to be a totally different person. I can't be upfront, open, and honest if I have to change how I speak.
No, just put a disclaimer before you speak.
Oh,
no,
okay.
but
so I'm disclaiming.
this mental health subject is really serious.
It is. It really is. It really is.
Would I be a comedian to say, Galen?
Yeah.
Would I be a comedian to say that you look like Roland Martin?
Hey, man. All right, this show over. It's over with. I'm gonna tell you as a compliment because Roland is the man. But at the same time, you know, and if you hadn't been following Roland Martin, he was down in Montgomery, Alabama. You know what I'm saying? We had a little thing going on with the Voters' Rights Act in 1965. They had a march from Montgomery over to Selma. Once again, they goddamn did their thing. So if you're not paying attention to what's going on, we're going through redistricting. Right now, we're dealing with a serious civil rights issue in 2026. Crazy, but true. So in the Southern
North Carolina too.
Yes, but this is the crazy thing about it. People have an issue because they're not paying attention to what's really going on. There's some misinformation out there. The misinformation is they're stripping your rights away to vote. That's not true. That isn't true. Now, when they're talking about redistricting and redrawing lines, they might be trying to diminish the vote in minority majority districts. That's true. That's very true. Does it decimate the possibility of individuals in those districts, minority majority districts, to serve as either councilmen, aldermen, or representatives, like they were trying to gut it here in Mississippi to take Benny Thompson out of his district in District 2? But there again, this is the thing. The one thing that you always have to remember, you have the right and the power to vote. So if in fact you mobilize strategically and you galvanize people on a unified front and you support the individuals that are ready to support the contract that you have with your community and those representatives, that's how you get something done. You leverage your vote to make sure and ensure that if in fact you are not going to serve this community, you will not be serving us at all. So that's it for my soapbox as it relates to that. But before we get out of here, Damen, any last words? Because I'm going to let M close it out. Close it out. Any last words from you before we get out of here, Damen?
Hey, Galen, I just want to thank you for setting this up to where I could be able to talk with Emleigh. I hope and pray that you'll be able to allow this to happen again because she was very professional. The way she made me feel like she was really in tune with wanting to try to give me some type of advice that could really try to help me. And I know that she's good at what she does. So, I mean, I would love to be able to talk to her again on your show. And anytime, like I say, that you need me, I'm more than welcome to be on here. I welcome Emleigh's advice and just thank you so much.
You're welcome, Damen. God bless you.
Thank you, Damen. I appreciate that, Damen. I mean, I'm going to take all of those accolades and apply them to myself because, you know, that's just how it goes. You know what I'm saying? The host of the show always but yes, she is the bomb biggity, Damen. She does know what she's talking about, and she is Fantastic at what she does. She is a true professional. Her and her husband,
Yes.
Lamont,
Yeah,
are
both of y'all
community
in my
leaders.
prayers.
Yeah,
Thank you,
yes.
Damen.
They are true community leaders, and they're doing some major things out in Houston, in the Texas area, with the school system, with the church that they serve. As a matter of fact, I think my brother-in-law has been ordained as a bishop. We call him. I mean, he got some in the accolades. You know what I mean? And pretty soon, I'm pretty sure they'll both be doctors here pretty soon. So they're just making some serious headway. Of course, my beautiful niece Riley, coming out of that area, she's probably taller than her dad right now. You know what I'm saying? So she's fabulous. I mean, one of the smartest young ladies that you ever want to meet. She does all kind of STEM stuff. I don't know if you know what STEM is, but all those kind of programs. Is she still playing volleyball, soccer? What she got? Karate, jiu-jitsu. She does all of that stuff, man. Yeah. And that's because it's the tutelage and the pouring in of mom and dad and being in their life. Yes, Damen.
I actually listened to a Terry Anderson out of Houston, Texas. He's an awesome preacher, man.
Yes,
I'm telling you, he has really inspired me, really helped me with in his word. I'm always on listening to him, but his name is Terry Anderson.
Yeah,
and he is awesome.
Yes.
Okay.
Our church used to fellowship with his church.
Right. Okay.
Are you serious?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, small world, isn't it? Small world. But look, I understand you've listened to a Terry Anderson and you've probably, got moved and inspired, but you will not get a word from anyone like a Lamont Mitchell. I can assure you. And I'm not just saying that because I know the guy. I'm just telling you that, hey, it's time and season. And so maybe what's the fellow's name that you just mentioned?
Terry Anderson.
Terry Anderson.
Okay.
Hey.
Lamont Mitchell is well on his way. I promise you. I promise.
Do they have a link? Can you text me his name so I can be able
every
to
Sunday, and then they be in church every day. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. They got the live links that they be doing. Oh yes, they got links. If you want a link, I get you stuck like glue now. We get you linked up.
No, please do, because I'm always ready to listen to some good sermons.
Okay. Yes, indeed. No, Lamont, I will not stop. I'm going to continue giving you your praises here on this live. We got a whole bunch of people on here. We got over 105 active comments in this feed. Yes, we're going to let them know. And M, before we get up out of here, you know what I'm saying? Close us out with something special. What you got to say about today?
Absolutely. So May is considered Mental Health Awareness Month. June is considered Men's Mental Wellness Month. And that's when Lamont, I'm sure he's going to be talking on the show about his journey with mental illness and encouraging men of color about the willingness to seek help and seek support. There is a national hotline that if I'm not available in all states. I'm not always available, but there are other like-minded people, professionals like myself. But you can reach out to other mental health professionals by dialing 988. That is the National Suicide Hotline. Please reach out and ask for support. Stigma used to tell us that asking for help is a sign of weakness. But what we do know that asking for help is a sign of strength. You're human. You're going to go through things. But at the same time, there are individuals like myself who are trained, who are gifted by God, who are able to help you walk through your journey of healing. And to Damen, I just want to tell you that your story reminds us that justice delayed is not just a legal issue, but it's a story about emotions. It's a story about relationships, spirituality, and at the end of the day, it's about being a deeply human individual. And so we honor you. We thank you for trusting us with your story, and continue blessings on your journey, because this is just the beginning, and I know that great things are going to come of this. So thank you. And thank you, brother. I love
Hey,
you.
thank you, Emily.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I want to thank both of you. I'm not about to give you a whole bunch of kudos and claps and pats on the back. You guys were awesome. You guys were dynamic. You guys were inspirational. I can tell by everything that everyone is saying that they love the conversation. As a matter of fact, I think I've been terminated from my job
Hey,
because everyone is asking for. Tisha Lee, you turned against me too. You asking for a part two? Oh, I think I'm having a mental health issue. I'm having a breakdown right now. I need to come to a feng shui moment. I cannot believe that my industry talk people. This is mutiny. This is mutiny, but it is actually also very beautiful. It's beautiful because we've been waiting for these types of moments. Emleigh, whether you realize it or not, I appreciate you for coming on and playing this role. You know, because I told you when I called you, I'm out of my depth when it comes to being able to assist in the clinical capacity. I can sit there and have fun with you and joke with you, and we talk about entertainment and industry and business and all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to really addressing the needs of people, and I knew that Damen had some serious things that he had to address and needs to address. We also have Jonathan Shaw and SemiQuest. They're stating also in the comments that they're wanting to reach out to you as well, just for conversation, for the mental health side of it. Because Jonathan served in the military.
Yeah.
He had some tours overseas. He's seen some very tragic things. And of course, he came back. He's dealing with PTSD. You know, he's getting himself balanced. And of course, his wife is Angel, who's written those children's books. They're dealing with his life and what they're going through. So, you know, when you can have conversations like this and give individuals that opportunity to release, to be vulnerable, to not be judged. I'm gonna judge you regardless. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been judged all my life. That just is what it is. Hold it against me. I don't really give two damns. But at the same time, it's out of sincerity and it's out of love. It's not out of malice because, you know, we have to begin to hold ourselves accountable. Yes. In everything that we do. And with that, whether it's being told, you know, hey, this is the best way to do this, or here's an approach. It's only up to us to actually make the decision and actively do something about it. So Damen is doing something about it. He asked for the help.
Yeah.
So now we have to do our part to lend that olive branch or lend that assistance or lend that ear or that shoulder. Because you're right. Men don't want to cry on another man's shoulder because it's like a display of weakness. And then once you show that display of weakness, then there's an opportunity for anything to come in. You're vulnerable. I'm going to take advantage of that weakness. A lot of things get unboxed in just the things that you do because of how you train to live your life as a man. And so next month we have to bring this conversation all the way full circle with Bishop Reverend Lamont Mitchell. We will be here with him on the 1st of June, talking about mental health awareness and wellness for men. So I'm looking forward to that conversation. And hey, is there anything else that we need to talk about or unbox or at least let the people know? Oh, yes. How do they get in contact with Emleigh Mitchell on social media? Or is there a way to get with you on a personal level, like one-on-one consultations? I'm not going to talk about what your rates are because whether you realize it or not, Damen, I will be getting sent an invoice by my sister. I'm really not talking about that part, but you know, how can people reach out to you, Em?
On Facebook, I'm Creole Mitchell is my profile. On Instagram, it's Creole by Design. And as far as being able to get in contact with me for any one-on-one consultation, right now I am in the works of opening my own private agency, my own private counseling business. And so that's in the works. And the way that the system is set up is that right now, I can only take clients that live in the state of Texas if you're going to be my client. But if we're talking just off the handle, I'm not charging you, you're not paying me, there's not an exchange of money of any sort, then we can always just have casual conversation. And I
Okay,
can
so
point you
what?
and connect you in the right direction.
Okay, so what does that have to do with virtual activity? You see,
It still applies.
it still applies.
Yes,
Okay.
it still applies. And Texas is working on getting reciprocity to where if you're licensed in one state, you're able to apply and be able to provide mental health support in any other state. So they're still working through that particular thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going on 2 hours and 30 minutes. This has, like I said, time flies when you're having fun, when it's informational, educational, and all of the above, when things are hitting on all cylinders and people are engaged. So if you will, make sure that you share this content, you lock us in, you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Make sure to hear this conversation. This is a very important, very vital conversation. It's a needed conversation. It's needed. And of course, you know, like I said, Emleigh took on the challenge. When I asked the question, she said yes. And look, you don't seem to be nervous at all at this point. You know, you know, if you call me, you talking about, oh, I'm not sure. No, like I said, like riding a bike, you were fantastic, and I think everyone, I know for a fact, everyone loved this shit. Yeah. What do you think, Damen? You think
I'm
it's
very
working?
grateful.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
All right.
very grateful for Emleigh. I'm very grateful for you too, Galen.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, but see, I'm kind
glad
of
you
biased.
set this
This is
up.
my sister. I'm biased, so of course, you know, I'm always gonna give a rave review. So I'm kind of biased. I like to hear other people's opinions about it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, I'm so glad she talked about mental health. I really am, and I think that she should be able to, you know, come on again and talk about it some more, because that's a really serious issue.
It is.
Yes. Okay. So we're gonna make
A lot of
plans for
people out
that.
here fighting mental health.
Yes, every day. We're going to make plans for that. We're going to sit there and do whatever we need to do. If in fact, you know, you would feel comfortable coming back and speaking with our audience, and we would love for you to do that. Hold on just a second.
When and where, and I'm here.
Hold on just a second before we get out of here. Hello.
Listen, say man, listen.
Hey.
Bro, hey, I know you love. I know we don't do this, bro, but god damn it, man. Hey, BG.
Yeah.
BG, I don't know what the universe is doing, bro. But man, I needed that so bad. You just don't understand, bro. Man, Angel, I'm over in my office, she in her office, bro. Bro, I needed that, bro.
Yes, indeed. That's awesome, Sean.
Oh, hey, I know you know what you're doing, bro.
Yeah.
You're doing it.
Yeah.
God damn it, man.
Yeah. We appreciate you, man.
I really need his cash app because his face ain't popping up on my cash app, so I can send something, bro.
Okay. We gonna get the right. He said it's Damen Vega 8. Yeah.
I ain't cried since my first appointment, bro. I'm over here dropping tears, bro.
Awesome, man. That is what's up, man. Let it go, man. Let it go.
Get back to the show, bro.
Yes, indeed. I appreciate you, Sean. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, indeed. You see, man.
And something good is coming of this. Yes. Your story.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Without question. We need the right. Damen, get me the right cash app so we can put it to these people and let them folks know how to get in contact. You say it is Damen Vega 8?
Yeah, Damen Vega 8.
Damen Vega, DAMENVEGA and the number 8. Damen.
Yeah, the name that's spelled up there on the screen.
Right. Now, is that your
Damen
Instagram or is that your
Vega
cash
8.
app? Is that your Instagram or
Cash
is that your
app.
cash app? Okay, that's your cash app.
That's my cash app.
Okay. So if y'all find it in your heart, man, send my brother a little something. He's not gonna ask you, so I'm gonna ask. And we appreciate your time. We appreciate your time. Tell my brother-in-law thank you for allowing you to sit on here with me for this long, because I know dinner and all the other kind of stuff got to get prepared and ready. And I appreciate the time, because time is valuable. Thank you all. And for everybody that's tuned in, locked in, and listening, like I say, share this live. It's impactful. It is going to help someone. You just heard a live testimony. I didn't know John. That's not like it was planned. Jonathan Shaw called out the blue to say, "Hey man, I'm listening to the story. I'm listening to the live, and this is where I am right now." Mm-hmm. He needed that. He needed those words. So thank you both, Damen, baby girl, M, and to all of you that's out there that is paying attention and listening. And to all of you little smart ass folks that's on my live, like my sister and my auntie, I love y'all too. But we're gonna address these comments that y'all got out there on my thing, man. We're gonna address this here. We're gonna have to have some respect and some rules being laid down when y'all come back on this live. You can't just mutiny the man. Y'all can't just kick me to the curb. Anyway, I would say something, but I might politically incorrectly offend somebody. So, thank y'all. We love y'all. And as always, beautiful people, y'all know with me and on this side of the town, it's always about health, wealth, and wellness. Stay dangerous. What's good, beautiful people? It's your main man, Big G. And this is my personal invite to all of you to join me on Industry Talk on the Prime Time Network daily at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, where I get into great conversations with entrepreneurs, artists, industry leaders, you name it, we bring it to the table. So make sure you tap in with us, lock us in, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. We stream on all major platforms. And be sure to visit us at gemsitpublishing.com. This is Industry Talk. Let's get into it.
Motion.